Do you feel any of this was motivated by the National March for Our Lives movement?
I feel like this was definitely motivated by the National March for Our Lives. You know, a lot of people here are very okay with staying at home, minding their own business, and just letting things be. And when they saw that there's people that were coming out and standing against their constitutional rights, they finally stood up and said, hey, no, I need to stand up and take a voice in this. And I think that's where you're getting groups like this across the country right now that are coming out and saying, you know, here we are.
You're not going to hear my question, just a reminder, but have you ever been to a gun protest?
I've never been to a gun protest before. I did go to the March for Our Lives in Portland, kind of as a counter-protester, and I think counter-protesting on both sides is very important.
Why is that?
I think it's important because we need to have argument. It's only through argument and discussion that we're able to grow as individuals and grow as a nation.
And something I've heard kind of continually today is that this is the first time for a lot of folks here to have come out to a gun rally, you know, more or less.
My first.
Yeah, I mean, is this the start of a new culture within the gun support groups?
I'm not so sure if it's the start of a new culture inside the gun support groups. I'm hoping that it definitely makes people feel more that they can voice their opinions on guns easier without trying to be fearful that they're going to offend someone. You know, there's a lot of gun owners in America, you know, in the millions, and we only see a small fraction of them ever actually come out and voice that they're for guns and, you know, for our freedoms and Constitution. And this event is just a show that this is something that is starting.
And why do you think there haven't been national movements like this in the past, as far as gun support goes?
Yeah. I don't think there's been a movement like this in the past, just because I don't think people have seen such a direct threat towards our Second Amendment rights. And people are feeling that it's a very real threat this time around, and so they're wanting to voice their opinion on that and show that they do support the Second Amendment and the Constitution. And in the past, they were very complacent with, we'll just let things be because it's not hurtful to us, it's not breaking the constitutional law, this is just how it is.
Tell me about your firearms for today.
So today I'm carrying...
Do you mind showing it to us?
Yeah. Today I'm carrying an AR-15 or Armalite rifle, Model 15. It's just, I use mine for hunting, I use it for home and self-defense, and yeah.
How about you?
Mine?
Yeah.
Big Glock 19. It's Gen 5. Just bought it, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or so. I haven't even shot it yet. So.
How many guns do you guys own?
A few.
I have one of those I put 500,000 rounds through.
Nice.
I just bought my first Glock in '92. Yeah. I'm a Glock dude. 4 of them, so.
And I bought my first shotgun when I was 18, and I got my first hunt rifle when I was 14.
How about do you remember your first gun ever?
Yeah, my first gun ever was my hunt rifle. Or are you talking like toy gun as well? Or
whatever had an impact on you, I guess.
Yeah. The first time I ever handled a firearm was probably when I was like about 5 years old. My grandfather took me out shooting with them. My family was very active in the hunting community. So I've always been raised around guns, taught proper gun safety at a very young age. And I got my first hunt rifle when I was 14. It was a 308 Savage. Great gun. And then I've just, since I turned 18, just slowly started making my own purchases.
How about you?
I got my first when I was 10. I got a shotgun for duck hunting. So, and ever since then, you know, I got, my dad handed down a rifle he bought, his first rifle, and when I turned 18, I got that. I gave that to my son. And, you know, in 40 years, I've collected a couple dozen different firearms. So.
Best case scenario out of today, worst case scenario?
Best case scenario out of today is that people take notice of what we're saying, and that our rights are not infringed upon. Worst case scenario is we're ignored, and the laws keep getting passed where they're trying to remove our gun rights, and yeah, we'll see where that goes from there.
This is going to sound like a red carpet question, but tell me about what you're wearing today and why you chose it.
So, I've participated in several freedom rallies, flag wave events and stuff, and this is my general attire. Just wearing my nice suit, tie and stuff. I wear this to all events because I think that a person is very much how they present themselves and how they act. The only way to really get a good image across is to look good. So.
Dressed to impress?
Yes, dressed to impress.
Okay, great. You mind if we do you have any other questions?
No,
I guess I have one more question actually.
Okay.
Parkland. When you first heard about what happened in Parkland, did it ever make you second guess your stance on guns or gun laws?
No.
Some people will say.
So as far as my stance on gun laws after Parkland, I do think that it was absolutely a tragedy. Any loss of human life is a tragedy. As far as the gun laws go, no, I do not think that it should affect how we view our gun laws. We have universal background checks across the country right now. I think that we do need to take a stance on mental health and being able to better evaluate people with mental health issues, or even people who are in mental health crises. And as far as the shooter at Parkland, there was definitely a lot of red flags that went ignored, and I think it's issues like that that allow for these things to happen, and not the ownership of the gun itself.
I forgot to ask, but are your guns loaded or are they unloaded?
You should treat all guns like they're loaded.
Treat them like they're loaded. But did you bring them? Like, what was your reason for bringing them? I know there's some people who have said they chose not to bring them for their reasons. Why did you choose to bring them?
I brought my gun out today because I wanted to show that not all people with an AR-15 are evil. I'm a very kind-loving person, and I own guns. Everybody in my family owns guns, and I want to show that it's not an evil killing machine, and that it's in a person with good intentions. It's a very safe machine.
Yes.
We'll get that out.
Does that sound okay?